Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Shailyn and Adanya, and I'm actually really excited to start this video because not only are we continuing our Cultivating That Woman Mentality series, but we're also starting our introduction into femininity, my favorite topic, if it wasn't clear with the other videos that I've made. So first and foremost, what is feminine energy? What does it mean to be feminine? So there's actually 3 dominations we're going to be talking about today: light feminine energy, dark feminine energy, and masculine energy. But not the masculine energy in a man, the masculine energy found in women. But before we dive into all of that, let's actually talk about what it means to be feminine. One misconception there is about femininity is that it's only about the clothing, and it's not only about the clothing. It's about the qualities too. Being feminine comes with gentleness and nurturing and being emotionally present and available, having empathy and being creative. And that's not something you can get just by putting on a dress or wearing makeup. You can look at women and they can be in the most beautiful dresses and have their hair and makeup looking gorgeous, but they will have more masculine qualities and feminine qualities. So if you thought that when it comes to working on your femininity, all you have to do is look cute and dress girly, that is far from the truth. Alright, so now that we're clear on that, we're actually going to be talking about the different dominations when it comes to femininity. And yes, you absolutely need all 3 of them to fully and fruitfully and happily be able to embrace all of your feminine energy. And the 3 energies we're actually going to be talking about is light feminine energy, dark feminine energy, and masculine energy. But I personally like to call them something different because of what it means to actually be in those energies. So let's start with the light feminine energy. I can't even say this is one of my favorites because all 3 are my favorites, but for light feminine energy, we're gonna call her the princess. Because to summarize that, that's pretty much what it is. Light feminine energy is giving yourself space and room to get the princess treatment. For example, when it comes to the whole passenger princess, you let go of control and you allowed someone to lead you so you can be in the passenger seat and be a spoiled little princess. Being in your light feminine energy is allowing yourself to be soft, to be the nurturer, to be gentle and emotionally present, intuitive, and allowing yourself to deeply connect to your feelings. Also, when you're in your light feminine energy, you allow others to see you to be emotionally available. You allow them to come to you for what they need emotionally. When you're in your light feminine energy, you're playful and you're creative. In your light feminine energy, your safe space, your soft energy, that is where you actually process your emotions. But it's not the light feminine energy that makes you feel safe to do so. It's actually the dark feminine energy. One thing I do want to say before I continue is that with having the knowledge of all of these energies, no one should be able to control how you choose to show up. No one should have that type of power or hold over your energy and which energy you choose to show up with. And I know that can sometimes be easier said than done. Like, of course, there's people who can just hit you off the edge and make you mad. But you need to make sure that it's up to you to decide which energy chooses to show up as a result from how they treat you. You need to make sure that you have control over your emotions, because having control over your emotions takes away the outbursts. So if someone's treating you horribly or you need to call someone out, instead of lashing out, you think for that millisecond in your head, which energy do I want to show up for this reaction? Which energy will benefit me best? And the only way you can actually process that for that millisecond is if you have control over your emotions, because you understand that your energy is sacred and no one should have that type of hold over you. They shouldn't control how you choose to show up in that situation. So if you are somebody who decides to go about life letting other people make decisions for you, or you don't give yourself a chance to choose your reaction to how people treat you, that's something that you need to break within yourself. You have to break the hold and power that other people have over you and your energy and your life. So one example that I have from the Bible for light feminine energy, which is actually my favorite and you guys should absolutely read it. It's a beautiful story. It's not too long either. It's the Songs of Solomon, or the Songs of Songs. If you've read it before, you know what I'm talking about. The Songs of Song is literally a beautiful love story between the Shulamite and her groom. And in that entire book, the female, the Shulamite, she is in her light feminine energy. She's expressing her light feminine energy. She's boldly proclaiming how she feels her love towards this man, King Solomon. But that story right there, she is fully in her light feminine energy and she feels safe enough to go out and proclaim all of that. She allowed herself to feel all the emotions and openly expressed it to her lover. I also know being in the princess energy, your light feminine energy, is not always the easiest thing for a lot of people to do. For example, the Shulamite. Part of the reason why she was able to be in her soft feminine energy was because of her husband. She felt safe and her husband was in his masculine energy and he was wise. I mean, read the book of Ecclesiastes, the author of Ecclesiastes, who talked about how every single thing in this world is futile and worthless and pointless if you don't have God at the center. And now he's the one that truly matters. And he had riches, he had status, and he had all that he could ever want. And he realized what was truly important. That was the man that she was writing those love poems to. That was who she was talking about. King Solomon was in his masculine energy, which allowed her to feel safe and fully be able to embrace her soft feminine energy. She didn't have to live life feeling like she had to look over her shoulder because she believed that she was covered with him. Not everyone has that advantage or that luxury or is even in a relationship. And I'm not at all saying that you need a relationship to feel soft or feel like you can actually truly embrace your feminine energy, but you need to give yourself that safe space to do so. This is your life, and whether you have someone that you believe is your protector or not, one, God is your protector no matter what. So you should be able to fully be in your soft feminine energy regardless of if you're in a relationship or not. And two, this is your life, so that's an environment that you have to create for yourself. And we will actually get into how to do that in another video. But for now, we're just going to keep going on with our topic for the day. But I will say one thing, part of creating that safe environment for you is your dark feminine energy. And that is actually the next energy we're going to be talking about. So for the dark feminine energy, I actually like to call her the mother to the princess. I believe that there's a mother in every single woman, even if she doesn't have kids. We all have a mother inside of us, whether it was watching how our mothers nurtured and cared towards us or wanting to be to our future children what our mothers might not have been to us. There's a mother inside of all of us. And when you hit a certain age of maturity or independence, you have to be that mother to yourself. And this is what helps the princess shine. This is what helps the princess have a safe environment. Deep down, knowing that you're taken care of. With the dark feminine energy, the mother to your princess, she doesn't do the masculine tasks like providing and physically protecting, but she does do the feminine task of mentally and emotionally protecting and nurturing. That is her job, and that is her role as the dark feminine energy. The mother inside of you is to be the protector to the princess. And the character traits that come along with being in your dark feminine energy is setting boundaries, trusting your instinct and your intuition, doing the hard emotional tasks for the princess. And that can be just as small as sticking up and speaking up for herself when others do her wrong. Or embracing anger gracefully, meaning that when she's angry, she doesn't lash out, she thinks before she speaks, and she handles her anger with class and is not afraid to say what needs to be said. Think of the princess as the ability for you to just go back and be a child and just focus on you, take care of yourself, be all playful and creative. And the mother, she does the hard things. She does what is needed for mental and emotional growth and to give the princess a safe space. And that is what you need inside of you. And it's already inside of you. We're just going to work on awakening it more. So after that description, I hope this gives you a better understanding of the dark feminine energy. The dark feminine energy, the queen, it helps the princess shine and gives the princess mental and emotional safety, knowing that we're taken care of when we are disrespected and treated unfairly, when we need to set boundaries and speak up. When you start working more on the queen energy, you actually see that the queen naturally and slowly heals childhood wounds. Literally any childhood wounds that you might have had, because for the people in your life that didn't show up for you in those moments, now you're showing up for yourself in those moments. And if you didn't already know, if it wasn't obvious, I have an amazing example for a woman in the Bible that radiates dark feminine energy, and that is Queen Esther. Even though in the book of Esther, God is not mentioned one time in that story at all, which blows my mind, honestly. When God made Esther queen, he gave her the opportunity and the status and the power to step up in her feminine energy when it came to approaching King Ahasuerus. She saved her whole race from genocide, the queen energy, the mother energy, and she handled herself gracefully by using the mother energy inside of her, doing the hard things that needed to be done, save her life and to save the life of her whole race. If you wanted a good biblical example for dark feminine energy, read the book of Esther. The last energy we're going to be talking about today, also the last energy there actually is, is the masculine energy that's found in a woman. And I actually like to call her the Empress. The Empress is the go-getter. She is the energy that provides the means for the queen and the princess. The Empress is not fully in masculine energy. What I mean by that is she's not how the typical masculine energy shows up, how they don't usually allow themselves to be emotionally vulnerable. And the Empress's traits, although she's tapping into a good amount of her masculine energy, she's not really there for the whole physical protection type of thing. The masculine traits that the Empress is tapping into is independence and assertiveness and leadership. It's ambition and getting the job done and thinking logically and being financially competitive to get the money. And the Empress energy is crucial. You absolutely need her to be able to embrace the Queen and the Princess energy. All three are very important. You need absolutely all of them. You need the Princess energy because if you're too much in your Empress energy, you're gonna get burnout. You need the Queen energy to be the mother to the Princess energy and to defend her. You need to have that for yourself. And you need the Empress energy to help create the lifestyle that the Queen and the Princess energy want. Whether you have a man or not, and if you allow him to provide for you or not, it is a really nice thing to make your own money and spend it how you please. So if you're not in a relationship or you're in a relationship and he's not showing up the way that you want him to, you gotta have a talk with him. But also, go get the Empress energy. She will help you and give you all that you need and allow you to fully and boldly be able to embrace your light feminine energy and your dark feminine energy. I'm so happy we had this session. Now we can really dive deeper and get into more of the feminine essence. But before I close out this video, I have 3 journal prompts I actually hope you guys try for yourselves. These journal prompts are supposed to make you think. It's supposed to give yourself a better picture on how you want your life to be and how you want to show up for yourself. These journal prompts may even make you cry, but they're needed to rebuild us. So the first journal prompt I have is for your light feminine energy. How would you describe your princess treatment? How do you want to treat your princess? How you want others to treat her? Friends, men, how she pampers herself, what's her morning routine, her nightly routine, what does she do on her spare time or hobbies? I know this is not just me. When we think about becoming that woman, we think about an aesthetic. We haven't put it on paper. We just have, all right, that's what I want. But it's not really a full description. It's just, yeah, I want to be that girl. Actually put it down on paper or type it, because I mean, when I do my journals, my hand really does start hurting. Write it down and really think of how you want to treat yourself in your princess energy. Think about the love you want to show for her. Who is she? And don't share it with anyone. Try to give yourself that peace and that safe space and that quietness to do so. I like jazz music, so I put on 1940s Manhattan, New York jazz music. And it was just the most peaceful, calming, relaxing thing. I did it after I did my skincare and my pamper routine. And I was just in zen. I was relaxed. It felt so nice to actually give myself that self-care time. Try to do it during then, or maybe it's early in the morning for you, but it's a nighttime thing for me. This next journal prompt I want you guys to try is for your dark feminine energy. If you had a daughter, how would you want to show up for her? Or how would you want to show up for the childhood version of you? So how do you wake your daughter up in the morning? Do you just set the alarm up for some blaring, blasting? I don't know, what do the default alarms go to on your phone? It's like, I don't even know. When I set my alarms, you know how it gives you an option to type what the alarm's for? Mine says good morning gorgeous with a little heart on it, and my alarm is, I don't even know what I put my alarm song to. I actually want to change it to make it something even more peaceful. How are you waking your daughter up? Are you allowing her to just wake up peacefully and slowly? Or are you just rushing your daughter or childhood you out the bed like, all right, time to go do this, go do that? Are you thinking masculine? Are you pushing that childhood you or that future daughter to be in her masculine energy the second she wakes up? How would you gracefully and handle your daughter being treated poorly? How would you handle your daughter's schedule? Would you give her time between her day to actually take a beat and rest for a second, because you want to teach her that you don't just go through life fast. It's about slowness and patience. You know, just stuff like that. How would you show up for your daughter or the childhood version of you? And then for our beautiful Empress, the journal prompt I have for her is, what is stopping you from following your dreams? And what is your dream? Okay, swap that. What is your dream? Do that first. And then what is stopping you from reaching that dream? But when you actually do that last one, it might even be you stopping yourself from that dream. It might be people. It might be you listening to how other people see you, or it might be fear. Have you even allowed yourself to dream it? When you write down your dream, don't think realistically. Be dramatic with it. I mean, what do you want? Allow the princess energy in you to pop out a little bit in there. Because when we work on our dreams, not our goals, our dreams. Men have goals. Masculine energy have goals. Women have desires and women have dreams. Don't be crazy unrealistic. Like, of course, like I want a unicorn. But don't be realistic either. Don't write the dreams that match the means that you have right now. Because what is impossible for you to reach on your own is more than possible for you to reach with God. When you write your dream, dream big. Think really hard. Or maybe you don't even have to think at all. Maybe you just know it. But don't think in the realistic mindset. And I know that this world is not always kind to dreams, but we are journaling right now. We're trying to get a vision and a picture of what we want for our lives. So yes, dream big. Don't limit God to what the world tells you is unrealistic. Dream unrealistic, dream as big as you want, and then we will work on what to do next. So that is all I have for this video. I really hope you guys actually try those journal prompts and keep them to yourself. That's your energy, that's your sacredness. Absolutely keep your journal prompts to yourself, because the second you give it to someone else, they may have so many opinions on what you have to say for your dreams. They may have so many opinions on how you choose your princess treatment to be. They may think, okay, well, you're being really dramatic and cringe with all of that. What you put in your journal prompts, that's your baby. That's sacred, it's secret, keep it yours. Don't even give people the option or the chance to dim that light that we're trying to awaken in you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm so excited to see you guys in our next session. Bye, loves.